Hey fam, we're back with another brief episode today. I felt called to pull a card for myself this morning from this Sacred Rebels deck, which I've never pulled a card from here before, but I want to share it with y'all because it hit me so deep, and it's rare that I do card readings anymore. If you've been following me for a while, you probably know or have been here for the long haul. I used to do card readings all the time. I still do them, but it's definitely a different energy now. And I really only pull cards when I feel pulled to a deck. Like if there is a specific message that I feel wants to come through, if the deck is calling out to me in any sort of way. And this was the card that I got. If you're watching this on video, it's called The Word Wants to Be Written, and there's butterflies all over it, which is so funny because I was listening to another reader this morning, and she said butterflies are a sign for you in this message. It was just 111 on my clock. And the funny thing about all this is that I have a butterfly tattoo. Butterflies have always been a thing for me. So if you're someone who has been on the journey home to yourself, or you might be like, Linz, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, what do you mean coming home to yourself? Like, I am home. I'm sitting in my home watching you. It's not what I mean. For me personally, right? So I went through divorce 5 years ago, and in the process of all of that, in the process of marriage, really, in the process of that relationship that I had, I don't want to say it sucked the life from me, but I wasn't who I truly was at my core. I wasn't being truly me the way that I know I can be. And so the process of saying yes to myself and to that little voice within me that was like, hey, like, it's time to come home. It's time to follow who you truly are. And that thread, that light has been unraveling since I went through my divorce. And I wrote Lighthouse about it mainly because that was for my autoimmune healing journey, right? Like there's so many things that have come from me being on this journey of coming back home to myself and loving myself unconditionally. And something that's come up a lot recently, if you've watched any of my last videos, I have been shedding the maternal line within my family, and I feel like it's not only for me, but it's for the collective at large. And in the process of all of this, there's been a lot of guilt and shame that has come up about and around who I am, my sexuality, my choices, my even love for myself and my body and what it's been through, having 3 autoimmune diseases, and just from healing those and being a nurse and all the stress that I put my body through during that time. And just, I really lost myself for a while. Like I used to be such a creative person, and I have been like longing for and searching for that creativity for so long. And so if this found you and you're someone who is either in the same boat or you're trying to get back to a way of life that used to be for you, and you're just like, when did I lose that, right? It's not that you ever lost it. It's that there was maybe layers or conditioning that has buried that piece of you for so long. I know for me, like I knew I wanted to be a nurse, but I have always had such a deep passion for photography. And I've had a camera in my hand since I could hold a fucking camera basically. And I just have always loved art. I have always been so intrigued by how others paint and draw and all these things, and I had told myself for years that I couldn't draw, and then all of a sudden I was able to draw, you know. And we limit ourselves so much in this life because of others' projections, because of what other people say we can and can't do, right? Like I didn't think I could sing, and that came from a story that was playing out, a pattern, a wound, whatever you want to call it, from me being 6 or 7 years old, and I was singing the Beatles in the living room, and my mother told me to never quit my day job. And that always stuck with me. That always made my throat close up, and it's still something she says to this day. But then I realized that's not actually mine. That is her projection. Perhaps it's from her wanting to sing and thinking that she can't, or just her perceiving my voice. And again, it's all lessons and everything happens for a reason, but this card, the word wants to be written, really hit me today. The first line says, you might have been taught that creativity is something you have to work hard to access, or that finding your life purpose is so difficult that you must search high and low for it. And to circle back to wanting to be a nurse, wanting to help others, but also wanting to, I was so excited. Oh my God. I remember applying for colleges, and I applied for Simmons College in Boston. And I was so excited because they had a nursing program and I could minor in photography. That still makes me light up because that literally makes me so happy. And I remember like the first words out of my dad's mouth were, you can't make a living doing that. Like, why would you go to school for photography? Like, number one, you already have an eye, but like, why basically, like, why are we going to waste money on that? Like, go get a degree that you can actually help others with or make a living with, right? And so I've always put my creativity since then kind of in my back pocket, if you will. And there was a lot of shame around wanting to be creative, and it makes me emotional because not that I missed out on life, like everything happened the way that it was supposed to, but it's all unraveling to bring me back here to this present moment where there's so much creativity that wants to pour out of me. And this last week, since I've acknowledged that, and since I've pulled back my energy and really just focused on myself, there's so many creative things that have poured from me. Yes, some of them have direction. Others are just creations. And I have realized that not every creation needs to be given to the world. Sometimes it's merely just for us to create. And that also makes me emotional because there's so much pressure for us to perform and to be a certain way and to do the things we love for others when really we're meant to do them for ourselves. And I think so many of us get lost on this path of needing to do things for others. It has to have a monetary exchange for what we do, when really, like, we just came here to create. I have 5 placements in Leo, by the way. So like, if you're into astrology, you know that's a fuck ton of Leo placements. And also I have a stellium in Leo. So like, the creativity that like wants to pour through me is like at large, probably compared to most people. And so that creativity, that fire has been relit over this last week. And I have found myself sitting on this swing for hours, just creating, and in such a flow state that I have been longing for so long. And it's so interesting that this one card talks about how we've been taught that we have to work so hard to access something that is so innately pure to us and is such a simple part. It can be such a simple part of our life. I challenge you, if you're watching this, to go create something just for the fun of it, honestly. Because yes, a lot of my creation has had purpose and drive behind it this last week. But sometimes I find myself creating things and I'm like, I don't know if I'm actually going to put that out in the world. Whatever it was just needed to flow through me in that moment. And sometimes that is the most beautiful fucking gift that we can give ourselves. It's to not always have an end goal for something. Sometimes we're just meant to create so that that thing can flow through us. This card also says you don't have to struggle so much. It is more about allowing space for it to manifest and let the energy flow. The real struggle is not in finding something. It is more about letting go of the idea that you need to search for your path in the first place. Because the process of activating our life path is such a natural one. But we have to allow it to be. We have to create the space for it to be. And a lot of us don't make space for our creations and for our life path, and we find ourselves chasing after it. I know I have for so long. And then when I started to make space over this last week, so many things started pouring through me that I was like, holy shit, this is it. Now, do I have all the answers right now? No. Yes, they are within me, but they're unraveling. As I let go of the shame, as I let go of the guilt around wanting this creative path to be a certain way, needing it to be a certain way, needing it to produce, to earn me money. That sounds so silly to say. And I've found myself over the last week just saying, I just want to create. To create. And as I say that, there's a giant hawk that is flying in front of me. Oh, it's so beautiful. We have to be willing to slow down enough for the downloads to drop in, for the ideas to rise. If you're someone who has encountered controlling or manipulative forces while you were growing up who made it hard to access your natural state of being, just know you're not alone. And know that those projections, whether it be shame or guilt or whatever it is, they're not yours to hang on to anymore. And it's not that again, that natural state has gone anywhere. It's that it is just buried under so many layers, possibly of shame or guilt or whatever that might look like for you. And the more that you let go of that shame and know that it's not yours to hang on to, the more your true self will reveal itself, because it feels safe to. And this is your opportunity, if this is rising for you, that you get to break the cycle. I get to break the cycle. We don't have to carry it anymore, because it's not ours to carry. It never was. I know for me, I just stood in the bathroom before hopping on here and sang My Sacrifice by Creed over and over and over again, just a specific line. And one, I was just loving the reverb in the bathroom, but two, it just wanted me to keep singing that line. And I was like, why do I want to keep singing that line? Because when you are with me, I'm free. I'm careless, I believe. Above all the others will fly. This brings tears to my eyes. My sacrifice. We've buried ourselves for so long. We have sacrificed ourselves for the sake of others. And all our souls want is to just be free. They want to write, they want to dance, they want to play, they want to sing. And it's time we allow ourselves to do that. It doesn't have to be hard. It gets to be messy, it gets to be fun, and it doesn't have to look any certain way. Singing on camera would have terrified me years ago. I would have sat here and critiqued myself. Even as I was doing that, I was critiquing myself in my head. Things that I am willing to let go of, because that's actually not my voice. When I get down to the nitty-gritty of it, I realize that that is not mine. What an awareness. What a beautiful moment. What you want to create wants to be created. And it's time that we let go of any remnants of the past that are standing in our way so that we can fully step onto our life path, whatever that might look like for us. And so I'm going to read the little excerpt from this book. If you feel called to say it aloud with me, follow along, screenshot this and save it for later, whatever feels good for you, but this really hit for me. So here we go. Say aloud, I now choose to forgive and release any person, situation, or circumstance that has ever been a source of shame or shaming for me, whether conscious or unconscious. I now release this from my body, mind, and heart through unconditional love. I choose to claim myself instead. I love and accept and claim all of me under the loving protection and wisdom of life. I choose to live as myself. Now, I call on the unconditionally loving assistance that life wishes to send me for this journey now. I honor my creative power and my innate worth. So be it. I hope that hits for you. And I hope you know how important your creations are for this world, for yourself, most importantly. But that even if you put it out there and only one person sees it, that one person was probably the person that needed it. That there doesn't have to be any attachments, there doesn't have to be any expectations. You just get to be for the sole purpose of that is what your soul came here to do. To just be and create from a loving place. Anyways, be kind to yourself today and always. And know that your creations matter. Your life path is right in front of you. You just have to be willing to let go of all the old things that are standing in your way. They were never yours to carry. All right, my love. I'll see you on the next one.